everyone, and welcome to Crock-pot Wednesday. And today I'm going to share with you what we're making in the crock-pot and just some of the projects that I'm working on today.
From the diary of my grandma Fanny, May 16th, 1942. Today is a Saturday. Very good rain. I baked in the morning and finished Marion's dress.
Alright, for a Crock-pot Wednesday, we need some tomatoes. So, we got a pint of just plain tomatoes. Update, my sauerkraut is looking really good. We have till June the 4th. So, it's very dark in here. That's why you can't see very good. And we cover it up with our cheesecloth. Alright, so many people ask me, where do I store my potatoes? My potatoes are in this basket. People ask me where I store my potatoes all winter long. We are out in a unheated porch. It's a screened-in porch, and it doesn't get any freezing because we have our furnace that we use just for our hot water, and it keeps things from freezing. But here you go, is my potatoes. Now, of course, it's dark. You won't be able to see a whole lot, but they are still in really good shape. They're starting to sprout a little bit, so we're going to get our potatoes today for our Crock-pot Wednesday. With you, what we're making today. This comes from this cookbook, The Gooseberry Patch, One Pot Meals. This was just given to me yesterday by a longtime subscriber and friend of mine who gave me a care package, which I will share with you on Friday's video. But today we are going to make beef stew. All of the crock-pot meals that I've showcased to you, I have never made beef stew. The thing was our beef. Let me tell you, I was for a shock. I don't buy a lot of beef. We don't eat a lot of red meat. And if we do, it's usually ground beef. Well, I was looking and looking and looking for some kind of beef that wasn't over $10. It was ridiculous. So I came up with the really cheap cut beef steak for $6.35. One thing nice about the crock pot is you can get a cheaper grade of meat, and it's going to cook really nice because it's going to cook slow, and that helps with the cheaper meats. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat out of our package, and it's just little pieces like this. This was the cheapest way I could go. The beef cubes they wanted $12 for? Unreal, unreal. I really don't know how families are affording eating red meat. Alright, let me wash my hands and then we'll get back to making the rest of our beef stew. So, we have our beef stew, we have our meat in the crock pot, and we're going to add some potatoes. Now, generally I keep the peelings on my potatoes. These potatoes were really sprouted and the skins were really wilted and it didn't look very nice. So we are just going to chop up our potatoes in halves or quarters. This is going to simmer all day long. And now we're going to add 1 pint of just plain tomatoes. That's going to give us our liquid. Now, many of you who have been following me a long time know that I am trying to get away from packaged spices and mixes like that. And I did find this pot roast slow cooker package. And so I'm going to use this because I really want to use it up. I really don't want to throw food away. So we're going to put this in as well. Simply because I have it. This year I'm really working towards making my own, more of my own, which you know I make my own spices, but making my own ingredients like this. Okay everyone, that's how simple it was to make a crock pot roast or beef stew, whichever you want to call it. It's more like a pot roast. So we're going to stick it in my trusty crock pot, and we're going to put it on 200 to 225 because I want this to cook all day long. That way I can have my chores, and this will be for probably for a supper time. So we usually eat supper around 4, which is early. We usually eat lunch around 11, and then usually around 7 o'clock we'll have some fresh fruit or frozen fruit. That's our snack. So there you go, my friends. This is going to be in for 8 hours, and I'll get back to you when it's finished. In the meantime, I'll show you what I'm working on. The thing nice about Crock-pot meals is it gives you a lot of free time to do other chores. And so today I'm going to share with you just a few things I'm working on while our Crock-pot meal is cooking. So, I have this container, and what I am doing is I got these reusable wipes at the Dollar Tree. I got two different kinds. I got this kind and this kind. So what we're doing is we're actually going to lay our wipes in our container, and I'm going to share with you how I make my homemade wipes. Now these can be reused. What I'll do is I'll rinse these out and I'll hang them on the line and I can reuse them. So let me go ahead and put all these back into the container, and then I'll show you what mixture we use to make our homemade wipes. So we have all of our wipes in our container, and this is what I use. I use rubbing alcohol. I use rubbing alcohol as my main ingredient for the wipes. Now of course many people use vinegar, but I dislike the smell of vinegar so much that I use rubbing alcohol. Now rubbing alcohol, as you know, kills germs. So what we're going to do is we are not going to totally immerse these, we're just going to make them that they're wet, and which can take a couple minutes. Alright, so we have a little bit more to go. And so what I'm going to do with the rest of this is I add tea tree oil. Now I go from tea tree oil to some other oils, but I like tea tree oil the best. There's Thieves. I like Thieves as well. So we're just going to put a little bit of tea tree oil on. Not a whole lot. It doesn't take much of your essential oils. We're going to mix it up. Also, I use a little vitamin E. Vitamin E is a preservative, plus it's also really good on your hands. So we'll put a little of the vitamin E in the rest of this. And we're going to shake it up really good. And we'll put the rest of this, most of this in. I think it'll probably take most of it. You want to make sure the bottom of it is wet. There's a lot of these in here. It's about, I think it's about 35 of them. So right now they're just good and wet and they're damp, but they're not saturated wet. And there you go, my friends. That's how you make some household cleaning wipes. It's good for the bathroom, it's good for the kitchen, it's good for anything that you need wipes for. And we keep the lid on it, and I keep it on my kitchen counter. So anytime I need to get something really quick and fast, here it is. Plus, you can rewash them, so that is a frugal deal. So just another project I'm working on today while the Crock-pot meal is cooking is I'm going to fill these containers with, I have some topsoil that was really cheap, and I'll add garden soil to that, and we are going to plant some herbs and some flowers in these. My friends, after a long day of being outside, it is so nice to be able to come inside and have a home-cooked meal. Cooking while we were working. And that, my friends, is our beef stew. It turned out perfect. It turned out perfect. And that's what it looks like. Take care, everyone. I'll see you guys.